All right. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from. I see my Saskatchewan crew in there. I'm not sure what time it is where you guys are, but good to see you guys.
Yeah, guys. You can leave it. You can leave anything you want.
It's 10 o'clock.
We're
We
coming
still
for
have
you
people
guys.
trickling in.
Perfect. 10 a.m. is perfect.
Yeah, we have one that
What
is great.
Okay,
time? How long
Stan,
is this?
I'm gonna kick you out. Gotta kick my brother-in-law out over here while he's making an in-depth phone call. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon if you're in Toronto, I guess. It's almost noon. At least I've got the wife here to slap things down. Perfect. All right. Let people tune in for a little bit. We're going to start to go on time. I see lots of people. I got April. Oh, I've got lots of I've got the Halifax crew in here too. Nice. Jenna, Kelsey. Okay. Got a wide range of people, which I love. Good morning. If you guys are tuning in from somewhere other than Toronto, put where your guys are coming from, because I see a lot of my familiar C21 family out there, which is really fun to see. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I'm trying to, it should work okay. The lapel.
Hey, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian.
He's not the producer today.
I am the producer of the event. Why, you can't hear me? I was just whispering. You may need to come to the front, sir. Right here. You in the back, I need you to come to the front. Got the big boss in the corner microing me right now. Love it. Good. We got Kelowna, BC. Oh, Dominican Republic. Rohan's on a trip right now, which is great. Rohan. I don't know if you guys can see my chat. So yeah, so we opened up this to a lot of people. The reason I was doing that, I think we're in a tough market. I don't think people are willing to spend a ton of money on conferences right now. But I think it's the best, I think it's like the most crucial time for you guys to be actually like learning right now. And I know that just asking people based on like if they were going to be attending any of the conferences coming up, a lot of people just said no. So I wanted to open it up so that agents kind of feel like they've got some sort of all-inclusiveness. They've got something to learn this year. And this is my favorite 6 weeks of the year, which is very nerdy of me, but I love hosting this. I love a few of you guys have been to this before with our 6 weeks. In the past, I've never recorded it. It was only in person, I think, one year. Last year, it was only online. This year, we're doing both in person and online, and I'm inviting our fellow C21 family as well. So it kind of feels like we're back at conference right now since we're not anywhere right now for C21. So we're going to be doing that. We were at the Jays game last week, so we got to see a bunch of you guys there. But today, we're going to be tuning in. I'm going to be doing, some of you guys have taken my online course. Some of you guys have taken it in person. I do have a very big in-depth online course that I typically have, and some agents that are on this call have actually taken it in the past. We're not going to replicate it. So if you guys find that this isn't in-depth enough and you want to dive in more, there is alternative materials for this. But for today's purpose, we're just going to be kind of just touching the surface on all the things that you guys should be doing in today. And nothing's going to be rocket science or anything like that, but hopefully it's just acting as a reminder since we're just going back to school. So it's not here to teach you guys anything brand new, but it's just to remind you guys of all the things that maybe you forgot to do throughout the year that we can get back on. I'm just going to share my screen here. You guys can see it in the back. Perfect. So this is what we're going to be doing for the next 6 weeks. We're going to be doing every Wednesday, 12 o'clock, same time, same link and everything. So if you guys have this link written down, it's going to be the same link. Or you may actually, sorry, someone's requesting to record this. No, you may not record this, but I will be posting this on YouTube. So if you guys want to go back to the sessions, so this is the first time I'm actually going to put our sessions on our YouTube channel. So I'll send you guys out a link with the recordings. But just to get the week started, today we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to find clients. So we're going to kind of go through a little bit of a roadmap, which pretend that you're a brand new agent, never sold real estate, and you want to start fresh. So we're going to talk about really how to find clients. Next week, we're going to talk about the things that you're supposed to be saying when you finally get someone to put their hand up and say, hey, I want to buy or sell real estate, and then you get them into a consultation or a listing presentation. We're going to go over how to actually get that person that said, hey, I'm thinking about doing something, and then how to convert them into actually working with you. Week 3, we're going to talk about different ways to serve your clients. So I really want to dive into how to communicate properly, what types of communication plans you should have, what modes of communication, what type of services, like how to serve the client properly. So that then we can go into week 4, where we're going to talk about how to actually get referrals from these people, or if they weren't quite ready to do something at that time, what can we be doing to follow up with these clients, past clients, current clients, leads, stuff like that. And then in week 5 and 6, we're going to go over the buyer and seller experience, which I was talking to you guys at the Monday meeting. It's going to be a little different than what I've talked to you guys in the past, where it's step by step. But again, if you want to dive deeper into it, I have the online course that you guys can all have access to with a bunch of resources. But I wanted to dive a little deeper into what's actually happening in the back end of these systems as well, like what the admin's doing, why we request certain paperwork, why we request you guys to do certain things, and how to make sure that that client has a good experience so that you can continue to grow your business. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully you guys tune in for the next 6 weeks or so. Again, these will all be recorded and I will send them out to you. If you guys have questions, pop them in the chat there and we will get there. And then if you guys in person want to ask me questions, you guys can as well. So let's start her off. Week 1, how do we attract real estate clients? I went to Richard Robbins yesterday. I know a few of you guys were there as well. And I liked this quote that he had, so I wanted to put it into our presentation. But our business is very simple. It's not that complicated. And I think a lot of us overcomplicate things. The only thing about our business is that it's not easy. So it's very simple. Real estate's very simple, but not easy. And I know this year especially was not the easiest. I know my Saskatchewan crew's on here. Their market's completely different than ours, guys. They're actually probably seeing what we saw back in 2021, 2022. So they're thriving right now. I think Newfoundland's killing it. They showed a chart yesterday. Us in BC not doing so well. Or like we had our moment. So our Saskatchewan crew, they're probably happy right now versus what we're seeing right now. But for us in Ontario, it's not the easiest. Also from the Richard Robbins, I liked this slide. So if you guys want to take a picture of this, I see it every year that he posts it. There is only 17 ways to generate leads. That is it. So I know a lot of agents will see these and then they will automatically say, no, I'm not doing any of these. I want to do completely different things because they don't want to do the hard work. But there is only 17 ways to find clients. So we're overcomplicating it. Some of us want to like reinvent the wheel. Everything's been working the exact same way that it has been for the last many, many, many years. We're just doing it a little bit more efficient these days than we used to. So write down these. We are going to be talking about the 5 best ones of these. So some people, what I find is you can either decide, do you want to do something that doesn't cost you a lot of money and not a lot of time? That's where I would like to spend my business. I want to spend as little money as possible and as little amount of time as possible. Unfortunately, when it comes to these ones, all you guys want to avoid it. Agents want to avoid the easiest ways to find business because they would rather not talk to strangers or they'd rather talk to strangers than talk to their own network or build a network. So what they do is they go to A and they go into other things that maybe there's a low cost, but it costs a lot of time. Or maybe some people, which I find do, is they want to spend a lot of money with a low time. So you have to decide if you've got time and money. So as a new agent, you don't have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time. So you may want to spend your time doing a low cost, high time activity, or even a low cost, low time. If you're an experienced agent, you have money, but you don't have a lot of time. So you may start to invest into doing certain things like farming, advertising, referrals from agents and whatnot. So really take it in and absorb where you're at in your career. If you have a lot of money, then you can start spending it on certain things. If you don't, then you gotta hit the ground you gotta hit the ground running and unfortunately do the things that not a lot of agents like to do. But I did some research in our own brokerage alone, as well as I looked up NAR, because I'm just curious, because I think I tell you guys all the time that your sphere of influence, your past clients and referrals is the #1 way to find business. But yet a lot of agents want to like fight me on it and do these other things that don't bring in a lot of business. But it is a proven fact that this is the best way to find business. So we should be focusing probably majority of our time, even 66% of our time should be spent on networking, basically finding people, adding to our networks, adding to our past client database, adding referral partners. This is where we should be spending most of our time. The other one, digital and traditional prospecting. So if you are online, great. If you're not online, you need to be offline. So you need to be thinking of things that you can be doing offline. If you're offline, or if you're not offline and doing flyers and all that stuff, then you need to be online, but you need to pick one. A lot of agents won't even do either. So they'll just hope that their phone rings. But these are the different ways. 25% of business is coming from there. And then we've got other platforms such as social media and open houses. So today we are only going to be focusing on the 5 sources that actually bring in business. Like I said, there's 17 different ways, but why are we focusing on the things that aren't bringing us business? And I see it all the time. And I'll sit down with agents and I'll say, where'd you get this client? Where did you get this one? And time again, it's friend of a friend, family member, past client, referral from this person. But yet they're asking me how to do cold calling. And I'm like, why are we cold calling if we already know that those sources aren't working properly? Or why are we going door knocking if we know they're not working? So why we need to start to really just hone in on the things that are working and stop trying to recreate the wheel here. So today we're going to just talk about the 5. So again, your sphere of influence, referrals, organic social media and personal branding, open houses and community presence, and farming. That's it. What I want most of you guys to walk away with is focusing specifically on #1. And then I want you to choose at least 1 or 2 of the other 4. You don't have to do all of these, but you do need to be really good at least 2 to 3 of these pillars. So let's just dive into #1, which is your sphere of influence, SOI, past clients. Obviously, if you're brand new, I do have a brand new agent here, Omar. He's probably not going to have any past clients, right? But hopefully he's got a lot of friends, family, parents, grandparents, past client or past colleagues, people he's just met throughout life, right? If you're sitting with me with a past client database, you have this as well. The reason that this is the best strategy to find clients is because these people already know you, like you, and trust you. So these are not, it's not rocket science, right? It also has the highest conversion and the lowest cost. So why wouldn't we spend the most amount of time doing things that convert the highest at the lowest cost? To me, that's like brain. But it kills me when I'll sit down with an agent and I'll say, okay, reach out to a past colleague, reach out to your past client, check in on them, and they'll say, no, like I'm not, like they're embarrassed to get rejected, I think, by the people they know, but that they'd rather get rejected by a complete stranger, even though we know that's the lowest conversion. So we need to start to get comfortable by reaching out to the people that we already know. And if you don't have a sphere of influence, because I always hear that rejection too, well, my family doesn't want to work with me, my friends don't want to work with me. Well, go get new friends. Like you need to get out and network. Like even yesterday going to Richard Robbins, you need to get yourself out of comfort or discomfort and go meet people. There's tons of networking events. It doesn't need to be real estate. It could be female business events. It could be like business networking events. Go, if you do not have a network and none of your friends and family are buying with you, you need to get new friends and you need to surround yourself with other people. Otherwise, you're just going to keep coming up with that excuse. The other one I always hear is, well, there's my uncle's in the business, my cousin's in the business, so they're just going to go with them. Well, your uncle and your cousin may be saying the exact same thing about you. They may say, oh, they're just going to go with Chad. They're just going to go with my other cousin. So I think it's a really bad excuse. Or just go beat them. Go outbeat your uncle and your cousin and all of that and get that business. But if you're already putting yourself aside, it's going to be very difficult. So examples of, again, your sphere of influence, friends, family, neighbors, colleagues, if you're experienced past buyers and sellers, your social circle. And it's not necessarily that maybe your friend or your family is going to buy with you, but it's thinking bigger. It's thinking way bigger. It's who does my grandma know? I know Michael's done business with his grandma's friends before, right? So like we got to not think like, okay, maybe my grandma's not ready to buy, but maybe grandma's got a friend named Sue who's ready to buy a house. So we have to start networking with the people and think bigger and like how we're branching out our network with other people's networks. So you have to stay in touch with people to try to tap into theirs. I'm sure like you experienced people. Have you guys gotten referrals from friends before? Probably friend of a friend. That's what I'm talking about. Not saying go directly to Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob has friends. So we need to stay in touch with the direct contact that we have so that we can get business from those people. So the strategy that goes behind this is it is like any other of these strategies. It's consistent follow-up, going to client, family, friend events. When you get invited to a barbecue, get invited to a family birthday, you got to go. And I remember Nelson teaching me this too. He's like, I know sometimes you don't want to go be social. You don't want to go to that baby shower. I hate baby showers with a passion, but I will go to them because I know I'm going to meet. Look at Sanix nodding or not agreeing because he knows that when you go to these events, you're going to meet someone, right? There's always a chance that you're going to meet someone new. So always when you get invited to these events, go to them. If you see a networking event, go to it. So if your sphere of influence is not doing very well, you have to expand it in some sort of way. Other just ways to stay in touch is through newsletters, social media engagement. All your friends and family are on your social media platforms. So we should have an easy way to stay in touch with people. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give you guys exactly what to do to stay in touch with people. So the goal with this type of audience is to stay on top of mind and strengthen those relationships. And even when we were at Richard Robbins yesterday, he was talking about relationships is still the end game. So it's not, hey, I'm just your real estate agent, call me when you want to buy a house. No, like we need to be reaching out. Congratulations on your baby. Congrats on your dog. So sorry for your loss. Like we have to strengthen the relationships with these people because they're going to eventually think about you when it comes to that time. And I think that's the other thing that people get in. They're like, well, Ginny's not looking to buy or sell real estate today. Well, you can still check in on Ginny. Like Ginny might be going through something. Check in on her. Then maybe when someone's casually talking to her at another event about buying and selling real estate, maybe she's going to pass your name to them. So you have to stay in touch with people. So just because that, don't like use your friends and family as like money making things. Think of them as real people and relationships because they may have other people that are going through life things that you can help them with. So what you're going to do, we called it the triple threat. So every single day, it's very simple, guys. Just grab your phone, call, text, DM 3 people a day. I feel like that's very, very simple. I used to DM 20 people a day, every day when I first got into business on Facebook. And I would go through my friends list because probably Ginny or Nelson said, all your business comes from friends and family. And I had no fear of reaching out to people. So Facebook was really big. I would DM them, say, hey, wanted to let you know I'm in real estate. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell? And that was all I would do. I didn't say, are you looking? Do you know someone? Majority of the time they would say no, but no one was ever, you would either get ghosted or they would just say, nope, I don't, hope you're doing well. That's it. And then in 6 months from them, they'll be like, hey, I'm actually thinking about doing something, or my parents are thinking about doing something. So DMing people, 3 is just easy. I was doing 20 a day. And that's how I got my business started, just from Facebook. So if you're too scared to call people like myself, text, DM, do those things. It's very simple. Other things you guys can be doing, very simple stuff. Send handwritten notes. So even when we started, we got these like little cards that had our branding on the back that said hello. And we made it like I would just send them to my friends. Be like, hey, just thinking about you. You're killing it. Like stupid little quotes and stuff. Or if like someone sent you a referral, you send them a note. If there's a house anniversary for a past client, like every month you can write down who's got a home anniversary, who's got a birthday. Maybe you just randomly start thinking about someone and you're just sending them a just thinking of you card, kind of things like that. And hopefully you're updating your CRM with birthdays, anniversaries, because these are very easy excuses to reach out to people, right? Like you're just saying happy birthday, happy anniversary. These are ways to build those relationships. Now, because I know agents are very ADHD when it comes to real estate, we were just talking about ADHD before the presentation. Do you guys all have it? Hope majority of us. Yes, you guys, I can see you all now like on your tabs, computers, because we can't focus. I think that the best way to do this is if you're just thinking about someone randomly, you're driving, maybe you're driving in a neighborhood, just message them. So if you're thinking about a past client that you haven't reached out in a long time, just message them on the spot. Like don't put it into your schedule and be like, okay, every day I'm going to message 3 people at this time every day. We don't work like that. And we've learned that. So I think if you're thinking about someone in that moment, reach out to them. Just say, how are you? Right? Have you guys ever had those moments where you're driving and you're just thinking about a past client, a friend, but then you do nothing about it? We need to start acting on it because what's the worst that's going to happen? Do we all think that our friends are going to tell us to like screw off by saying, how are you? Like we're scared. Okay, this is the big question I get. But what do I say? Everyone freaks out when I'm like, call your friends, like, or text your friends. They're like, but I don't know what to say. I'm like, guys, come on. It's not that difficult. So what I'm gonna do to my people in front of me, and if you guys are at home, let's do this as well. I want all of you guys right now. I have about 15 of you. I want you to all pull your phones out this very second. I'm gonna test you. Because a lot of people will also tell me they don't have friends and family. First, I want you guys to open your phone and look up how many contacts you have. Omar, how many do you got? You have 168 people that you can message, right? So when people tell me they don't have a database or they don't have a network, I know in your phones you have enough. How many do you have, Sue? I actually don't know. I don't. Okay, how many you got? 112? Oh, 1,012. How many you have, Sue? Okay, so if any of you come to the excuse that I don't know anyone, please go to your phone and remind yourself that you have all these phone numbers. These are not random people that you guys just chucked in your phone one day. Now we're going to take it a step further. Michael, how many you got? You got 622 phone numbers. Perfect. And you probably have a lot of unsaved as well. Okay, so what I want you guys to each do, I want you to pick one person from your phone, like right now. Everybody, pick one person that you've been thinking about reaching out to, but haven't had the guts to, whether it's a friend, a family, a past client, even just think about someone that you've talked to in the last 6 months that has talked about buying and selling real estate that hasn't done anything yet. Does everyone have one? Sanik's calling me right now. Perfect. Did you guys all pick one? Everyone has one contact. I want you guys to message this person right now and say, hey, Bob, you just popped into my mind today. Just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. So if you guys are online, I have everyone in the room is now texting one person. Put your thumbs up when you're done. Michael, you better do it too. Even a past client that just bought in maybe the last 4 months, 5 months, just say, hey, just thinking about you. How's the house going? Okay. That's all you have to do. So you can either just do a general check-in. It doesn't need to be like, hey, it's Sue. Do you want to buy your house? Do you want to sell a house? Like, no, we don't need to dive in and start selling right away. Just do a general check-in. If it's a past client, you could say, hey, I was just driving through your neighborhood. I thought of you. How's the house treating you? Like, just check in, right? I'm sure you guys have past clients that closed. You didn't even look back. So everyone's messaged one person. Okay, at the end of this, you're going to tell me what they said. And if they didn't, we'll do it again. Perfect. Exactly. The other thing you could think about, like if it's your home anniversary month, just say, hey, can you believe it's been so many years? How's everything been? So these are very simple texts. So whenever someone's telling me they're scared to reach out to someone, it doesn't need to be that scary. So we all just did it. It felt good, right? Got one text out. Now try to do it like 3 times a day and imagine how like efficient and great you're going to feel. So if you can do that 3 times a day, hopefully more, it's going to change your business. I promise you. So there's your check-in script. Okay, let's jump into referrals. So this one will be a little bit harder for my brand new agents, of course. You're probably not going to have a lot of past clients and stuff like that, but we can start to think about agent to agent referrals, or people that have, like my experienced guys, you guys have past clients. These are people that you can now reach out to and ask for more business. I love this type of business. Referrals are amazing when it comes specifically to you because these are typically warm leads that were pre-sold on working with you, especially from a real estate agent. We recently just did a deal. I've got the Saskatchewan crew on here. We just did a deal with the Saskatchewan crew, and it's simple things like going to conferences, networking, and going specifically to talk to agents that are in your area. Go to agents that are in Barrie, Hamilton, like a little bit on the outskirts of where we currently live, but where you think some clients may go. Maybe they're buying a cottage, stuff like that. These agent to agents, they're very good because most of these agents want that client to do something with you because they're going to get paid too. There's something in it for everybody. So they're going to be like, USAN, go to USAN. This is your guy. And all USAN had to do was go to a networking event, talk a few people, and then all of a sudden someone's sending him a client. And even that agent typically will do a follow-up with them at the same time to ensure that it's going to happen. So if you haven't added agent to agent referrals or even past clients to your list, add this as one of your pillars. Past clients recommending you. Shiv, I'm sure you've got a lot of past clients that refer you business, and it's a huge part of it, right? So these are really good clients because they've already sold you, and then you can go into the presentation or the buyer consultation, and they pretty much already decided they're going to work with you. So this is a very strong conversion rate. So go out to those networking events, go meet people. We go to for example, the Century 21 events every year all over Canada. You could be sending referrals to BC, Quebec, Newfoundland, wherever you're going. And then you can build relationships that way. If you guys are going to training events, you're going to meet people. You just never know, right? So these are a really great way. Creating a referral system, ask directly, and you can reward them as well. So here's the strategy for this one. So what your goal is to generate warm introductions from people who trust you. And even yesterday I was giving tips because a lot of my agents, including myself, are very shy to go to these events, right? Do any of you guys get too shy? Is that like why we avoid some of these events? Or are we just too tired? We don't want to invest in it? No? Yeah, yesterday was your first one. So how, like, it was terrifying probably.
Yeah.
You're walking in by yourself. You went to two actually. You did brands, you did this. So I think the earlier you get comfortable with walking into rooms like that, the better it's going to feel because it is terrifying. I get scared too. So I always recommend, like, if you are a little bit more shy, wear something that pops out. Like Susan's got a beautiful skirt on today. Someone would probably walk up to you and say, "Love your skirt." Then it's a really easy way. It's a really easy way to like start a conversation, right? Or if you're sitting to someone and you're like, "Oh, like I really want to talk to that agent." Just be like, "Hey, I really like your suit." Like something stupid. It doesn't need to be like, "Hi, I'm Omar," like, because that can be scary itself. Walk up, be like, "Hey, I really like your outfit today," or like your shoes. Where are you from? Like, it's just an easy conversation in general, even out in public when you guys are meeting people at networking events. That's how you do it. Just make a compliment, start the conversation. So try to, when you go to these events, it's really good. The first few, you're going to be shy. Of course, you're probably going to stick to yourself. But once you start to see the power of going to like networking events and when you actually start to get business from them, you're like, oh, I'm going to start going to these all the time. So generate warm introductions from people. So other ways that you guys can do this. We have a lot of agents in the office. I've got a few here. Offer help to a busy agent. If you are not busy, find someone in the office or your current office that is busy and offer help, especially if you're a brand new agent. Be like, "Hey, if you need help." Michael used to help me with lock boxes. He doesn't do that anymore, but like showings, lock boxes, open houses, stuff like that, that just get your foot in the door in front of a client, right? Eventually, you're going to have other people knocking on your door for help. Another big one is mortgage brokers, lawyers, stagers, people that are involved in the house process that are going to be working with buyers and sellers. These will be like your best friends. So it is really hard to get referrals from mortgage brokers and lawyers and stuff like that. But if you can start to build a relationship with someone in the industry, that's really good. One I didn't put there is who does your hair? Who does your nails? We literally chose our hairdresser based off if they're going to give us business or not, which don't know if that's a bad thing. If you're getting your nails, like I was getting my nails done, Christina now works at our brokerage. And like, so like, or if you get a client that's referring business to you, like be like, I don't know, you got to give business to get business. So if you've got someone that's like, "Oh yeah, my dad's a real estate agent and he does your car," bring your car somewhere else. Like start to think as a business person, how you can get business from these people, your bank teller, stuff like that. So we really need to just get smart at networking so that you guys can get referrals from business to business. It's very important. Reach out to 3 out-of-town agents. Go online, go to these events. Let them know, "Hey, I work in Toronto. If you have a client moving to Toronto, I'm your girl. If you've got someone moving to Durham region, let me know." So try not to network with people that are in your area. It does help with your networking with people in the area when you're doing like a transaction with them, then you have that relationship that makes it easier to get the property. But going outside the area too, because lots of people are moving to Toronto versus out, so you can get business that way. And again, networking events. Are any of you guys going to networking events this year? We need to, honestly, that's not a bad idea. Sanic likes sports. So even going to a sports event, whoever you're sitting with, say hello, get to know them. Anytime you meet someone, talk to them, get to know them. What's that? Buy them a drink, whatever it is, network. It is the #1 way to find business. So exactly. So if your sphere of influence sucks, you need to meet strangers in person, because if they've met you in person versus you cold calling them and be like, hey, do you want to buy a house? Like, be like, hey, remember when we met at that Raptors game? It's just an easier relationship to build. Okay, so people always ask me, how do I do this? So just screenshot this. Just say, hey, I know you're swamped. So this is for an experienced agent. If you ever need someone to cover a showing, an open house, or help with overflow, I would be happy to step in. So just put yourself out there. They may not need you this very second, but it's a great opportunity just to put yourself out there. I was good. She's gonna be mentioned on, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my client was considering that.
Yep.
Okay, and then a couple of changes, and then the buyer says, I think we're gonna sleep on it. Okay, and she called me, she said, they want to sleep. I said, give me that one.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to them for 15 minutes.
Yep.
I convinced them for a firm offer, no condition.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And put the deal together.
Perfect.
And she said, they were not going to buy it. I said, no, they bought it.
They'll buy it. Yeah. And that was an agent that probably reached out, said, hey, I'm available for an open house for you. And she gets client.
Say, I would like to buy this house, and I said, how to get the number? She said, I can't be open house. So I called Kate. I said, let her keep it.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
Exactly. So it's just little things like that.
I think 5% commission.
Yeah.
To get a sale, 2.5%. So she would make $50,000.
Exactly. And we're going to be talking about open houses actually next. And she was my story. So you took it from me, but it's okay. We're going to talk about it again.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries. I got it. Yes. What our agentship saying for my online is that we had an agent that reached out, hosted an open house, and ended up getting a client that way. So honestly, you just never know when you partner with an experienced agent. He helped her even get the transaction go through by talking to the client. So when you partner with an experienced agent that's been doing this for a long time, it's going to help you guys in some way. So even coming to the office, going to the Christmas events, coming to our awards events, you really, especially awards events, because then you can see which agents are walking across the stage. Go talk to them and offer your help and stuff. So it's a good way to get in, right? Asking your people, who do you know that might be thinking about moving in the next 6 months? It doesn't necessarily have to say, are you thinking about selling? Because now if you're opening up the network when you say, who do you know? It was great meeting you at the event. Always happy to help. If you're trying to get with a stage or a lawyer, hey, I had a client mention they may need a mortgage broker. You came to mind. I'll pass your information along. And if I have clients who could use real estate guidance, I'd be honored to help. So also throw yourself out there as well. And just even like a referral thank you system. Some of our agents go over the top. I've heard people giving out appliances. Don't know what the rules are with that. But if someone sends you a referral, send them a thank you. Like at least acknowledge it. I see a lot of people that get referrals from a friend. Send your friend a gift card to like Uber Eats or Amazon. Just acknowledge it. Whether the deal works out or not, always reward the behavior of them sending a referral so that they'll send you more. Sometimes they feel worse if it doesn't work out. But anytime anyone mentions your name, always make sure to send them at least some sort of small token saying thank you. Add them to your CRM because now they're a referral partner. So you want to really pay attention to those types of clients. Sometimes these clients that are referring you don't even do business with you, but they'll send you lots of business, right? So we just need to open up what we're doing. Referrals. Number 3, this one is for my online people. So if you are not an online person, you're going to probably do the next different strategies. If you are not offline, you need to be online. So you need to choose. Either you're going to be an offline agent or an online agent. If you can do both, even better. But social media obviously is a big one as well, especially in today's market. This one is where you can actually build credibility. You can talk about your listings. You can talk about your services. It's an easy way to be in front of your friends and family. And you're just attracting clients while scaling your reach. So these are things such as like Instagram Reels, doing YouTube videos, educational TikToks, LinkedIn. We all know all the social media platforms. Some agents are like, ugh, social media, no problem. But I hope that you're doing the next 2 strategies that I'm talking about. And if you're not going to do the next 2 strategies, like the farming and the open houses, then you need to be online, right? So we can't just be secret agents relying on our networks, although that is the busiest one. But these ones are kind of supplement the sphere of influence because now they're going to see you all the time. You can add your fellow referral partners from real estate. Like giving your cards, great, but like what do we do with those cards? We probably just chuck it out, right? So when you meet someone, Say, hey, do you have a social media platform? Because now you're in front of them all the time, or you're going to get them on a newsletter of some sort. When you're on social media, it's not that hard. I get asked all the time, what do I post? Like literally anything. So forget the Canva templates. I hate seeing Canva templates, quotes, all that crap. Throw it away. It's really not doing anything for you. What they need to see is you sharing your expertise, whether it's through writing or on video. Talk about client stories. So if you got like a client, an off-market property, or you got a client above asking on their listing or below asking for the buyer, talk about the stories. You don't have to say just sold. Tell the story behind that sold if there's a good one. Like, hey, this first-time buyer came to me 6 months ago. They were looking for this. This is how we got them the property. So start to do more storytelling. Local market insights is good, but again, these are only for people that are currently like looking for real estate. The most important one is to do more personal stories because not everyone's looking to just sell real estate all the time. I know we love it and that's all we do all the time. Some people need to see a little bit more of a personal person on there. So if you are going to be doing social media, and I'm only talking about organic social media, not paid ads and all of that stuff, but the goal is to show up consistently. Like any other of these activities, we need to be doing it every single day, whether you're in the stories, whether you're on the wall. This is how you attract actually new clients. We typically, when I'm posting stories, that's where I'm getting the most conversations. So if I'm posting behind the scenes of anything, someone's going to DM me and I'm just talking to them. Not necessarily someone's going to reach out to you every single day and say, hey, I want to buy a house, but you're just building the relationships online for when they're ready. So your goal on social media, post 3 times a week. One educational post talking about like real estate tips, stats, process insight. Do a personal, so talk about yourself, your family, behind the scenes, you working, whatever it is. Do behind the scenes. That's the hardest one. I think people don't want to show too much personal. You do have control over what personal things you share. So decide what you're comfortable sharing about. And then one real estate focus. So you can be a testimonial, a listing, client story. Then, of course, if you get comments and DMs, make sure you're responding within 24 hours because they are judging your response time, I think. So if someone's messaging you and you take a week to respond, to me, that's going to trigger oh, if they're my agent, they're going to take a week to respond to my messages. But if they're messaging you and you're responding right away, live time, they're going to be like, oh, if I'm working with this person, they're going to be texting me right away and they're going to be really good at communicating. So it's almost like a test in a way. So if you are getting comments and all of that, make sure you're engaging back with them. You guys can also create a close friends list. So if you are scared, maybe you do have a big following, but you have some close friends that you are only comfortable sharing with, you can create a close friends list. And then you're just posting like the more funny personal thing. I know Michael's got one. I'm on Michael's. I think Michael's on mine. So if you have like a few things that you want to like stay in touch with friends with, but you don't really necessarily want the whole public to know about, you can create a close friends group and it's like VIP content. So if you want to build relationships that way, you can also do that through the stories. If I have, who are my advanced people here? Some of you guys are really advanced actually. Who'd you just point at? Oh, so if you are already on social media, you've already got the basics, you're already posting every day, nothing's really happening. We need to take it a step further. And this is where I talk about in my online course a lot is how to set up a lead capture. So it would be like a DM funnel. So these are people that have like forms, whether like they're saying, sign up for my free home buyers guide, sign up for my home sellers guide. Webinars is huge right now. And I have a few agents right now where they get a lot of their contact information to grow their CRM. They'll offer webinars like free first-time homebuyer seminars. I just talked to another agent yesterday who's going to be doing a right sizing webinar, which is to talk about how people can either upsize or downsize, but now we're going to call it right sizing. So they're offering webinars on their social media platforms. They get people to sign up on a form. Now they have all this contact information to chuck onto their CRM, so they have multiple ways to communicate with them, but they're also getting a little bit more of a personal touch. So afterwards, they're offering to do one-on-one consultations on buying and selling, investing, whatever it is. So if you're a little bit more advanced and you're doing those things, maybe start thinking about if you can host an online webinar, tell people to download a buyer seller guide, and then track who like actually interacts, because those are typically the people that may actually buy and sell real estate with you because they've asked for resources about real estate. Then you know that they're a person that you may have to randomly text once in a while to check in with them. And then of course, review your analytics at the end of the week. See which post got the most engagement. I get asked all the time, What's the best day? What's the best time? I don't know. I think just post. So there is an analytics if you guys have your Instagram and Facebook set up as a business account where you can track your analytics and will actually tell you when your viewers interact the best. So that's when you guys, we're all going to have different ones. I think it's typically Tuesday, Thursdays is like the highest engagement days, but at the end of the day, don't worry too much about that. Just focus on like actually posting. Perfect. And then if you guys want some inspiration, these are some of the agents in the brokerage. I'm looking even at Chad. There's so many of you guys out here. So these are just a few that I was thinking about last night. But if you guys want to screenshot these are agents in the brokerage that are currently doing social media. Like Elizabeth, she's one, she does a lot of tips. She offers a lot of webinars. Aiden talks a lot about pre-construction. He's got a little bit of a luxury feel. Natsumi also does webinar offerings. She does it in Mandarin as well. So she has like, actually Aiden does it too. They post in both their languages so they can talk to both their audiences. So Corey's going to be jumping into webinars soon. Steve posts a lot of family stuff. Michael's random, but Michael posts a lot of like funny stuff, but also real estate. So he probably has a lot of fun engagement in his DMs, I bet. And then there's a whole bunch of teams. Shiv's very professional. So if you guys want a more professional feel, you want to be in camera with your listings, I'd say Shiv and Tom, probably Team Solo. They do really good at just keeping it real estate. And Adam Alley's got some personal stuff. So post, follow these guys, see what they're up to, and then I'll even send you guys even more of our agents that are doing really well. Okay, number 4, my brand new agents, open houses, please. If you guys are struggling to find business, or maybe you're not going to be out there, I don't know, you're looking for more traditional stuff. Hosting open houses, I still think is a very strong way to find clients because these are people that you're going to be meeting face to face with them. So if you are a face to face person, open houses are good for you. You're extroverted. These are typically people that are, they're buyers coming in. Some of them, they lie. They say they're working with agents. Some of them are not. Or you may be networking with the neighbors that live in the area, and then hopefully you can get some listings out of it. So the whole point of the open house is not necessarily to sell the house. It's to find clients. And Shiv was stealing my story over there a little bit. But if you guys are hosting open houses, a lot of agents will say, well, I hosted an open house and nothing came out of it. Every open house is not gonna, it's kind of like when you start cold calling or you're door knocking, not every single person is gonna be doing something. The whole point is to meet people and then build that relationship over time to hopefully get them. But Kate was an example. I don't know if she's on this call right now. She's been doing a lot of open houses throughout the year and not all of them have worked out. But she finally did an open house where she got a buyer to buy that house and she got a listing out of it. So I think he was saying there was a $50,000 paycheck she just made just from doing an open house. So if you're saying open houses don't work, there might be a chance that you're not doing it properly or you're not doing enough. So you can't just do one a year and be like, yep, doesn't work. You have to do them at least 2 to 3 times a month, I would say. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it on Saturdays and Sundays. If you don't have that availability, do it on a Thursday night, do it on a Wednesday, do a full day open house and see if you can get people throughout the day, but like get creative with it. I think open houses or even community events are a really great way to meet the community and get face to face with people. You can either host your own listing or reach out to a busy agent and ask them if they need help with their open house. We have a WhatsApp group in the brokerage. There's about 300 of you guys on it. I see open houses get sent out quite often, or I see a lot of agents saying, hey, I'm available for an open house. Does anyone have one? So get in that WhatsApp group if you're not. Put yourself out there. Even look up the listings with our brokerage name on it or whichever brokerage you're with. Reach out to the listing agent. Say, hey, do you need someone to host your open house this weekend? A lot of the chances of an experienced agent, they're happy to have someone else host it for them. And it's a really great event for you guys. The whole strategy behind it is to collect contact information so that you can nurture them behind the event. So all those sign-in sheets, have you ever been to an open house somewhere? Have you seen the open or the sign-in sheets? That's not for we call it for security purposes. It's actually for us to like follow up with you and stalk you and try to see if you want to buy a house. But what a lot of agents do is they quit. That one open house, no one wanted to buy it, they're out. But you want to take that contact information. You actually want to follow up with them because they just showed interest that they're going to buy a house. Usually people that open houses on their own aren't buying like that second, but they're going to buy in probably the next 12 months, I would say. I'm sure you guys have your experience now too. Do you have some of your beginner buyers probably going to open houses before they're ready to commit, right? And you'll be like, okay, go to the open houses when you're ready. message me, because a lot of them time they just want to shop. They don't want to bug you yet because they know they're not going to buy it right now. Sometimes they do go to an open house and they're like, hey, I actually do want to buy that house. Like, so buyers are liars, sellers are worse, but you've gone there, right? Yep, exactly. Yeah, they're like, they go to the open house. That's a great one. When they go to it, they like it. They want an offer with you too. Like, so they call their agent. So I think that open houses, if you're on the other side hosting it, don't, if a buyer says they're not looking to buy, just know they're lying. Probably no one's just going to go into a house to look at a house, right? Like, unless you're bored. Yep. Yep. Like for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. If you're hosting an open house, I would say majority of the listing agents will let you keep all the leads from that open house. I don't see many agents that are going to let you host the open house and then be like, hey, give me the people that showed up. I do not do an open house if an agent does that for you. I hope no one in our brokerage does that. But I think for the most part, the listing agents will let you use your own branding. It's your show. So treat it like it's an event. And that's kind of where I was going with the don't be lazy part. But yeah, take those leads, you follow up. Those are all yours. Sometimes, but make sure you have an agreement with the listing agent before you do it, because if they expect you to split it, then you want to know that before you're hosting it, right? I have don't be lazy, because a lot of agents will host open houses and they'll say, Caitlin, it didn't work. And I'll be like, well, what did you do? Did you just show up to the open house? Probably, right? Chad's laughing because I know agents do it all the time where they will just host an open house. Sometimes they don't even put the directional signs out. They just sit on the house with their little sign-in sheet and call it a day. And then they're like, wow, that was a waste of a weekend. Well, yeah, like you're not doing it properly. Watch a movie. They're on their TikTok. Michael's made TikToks in his open houses. Probably a good use of time. But I think the whole event needs to start before the event. So the house is already there. If you're actually going to take this as one of your ways of building a business, I think you should come up with a system on how to do it properly. So how to market it. You need directional signage. You need a arrow pointing to the house, as if someone was just driving on a Sunday. They see your sign. They should be able to get to the house just by following your signs. They should have the address on it so that if you don't have enough, then they can Google Maps it. But the directional signage is important for the people to get to it. It's also good branding for yourself. You're putting yourself out there. It's name recognition. I think it's really important. Social media, make sure you put on your social media. I tell a lot of new agents, your friends will think that you're a successful agent and that you're busy when you start to show, hey, I'm at this open house this weekend. So if you have no clients, at least on social media, they think you do. So get on there and like stand in the house. I even used to promote it while I was live in the home. You can do a Facebook Live event, even just inviting people to come. So make sure you're promoting it so that your sphere of influence knows that you're busy and that you host open houses. Neighborhood invitations. This is the one that where agents all get lazy. I think we should be doing at least inviting the neighbors 20 to the left, 20 to the right, 20 houses in front. Invite them to come to your open house, because then they feel more comfortable when they're invited. So this may be a door knocking opportunity. This may be just you're just handing off a flyer. Whatever it is, you want to get as many people to this house, and you're wasting an opportunity if you're not actually doing the actual marketing to get people to go to it. Then you're just going to make sure you have a sign-in sheet. You want name, phone number, email address. Yes, we want to know if they're working with the realtor, but it's really important if you're going to be hosting these events to collect contact information so that you can follow up with them in the past and build that relationship. I also think it's important to have day of notes, post-event details. So if someone was like interested in the property, write down like what their description was. Were they a young family? Where are they looking? Where are they at in their process? Just so that you know when you're doing your follow-up, you can remind yourself of who they were. And then, like I said, think of it as a neighborhood networking event. If you want to consider this as one of your pillars, every week you should be scheduling one open house. Create a simple follow-up template for people who attend. So have like a draft text or email that you would maybe send to them after the event. Again, post it on your social media and then track the leads that are generated. These are some like simple things. You should have some checklists. Again, if you've taken my online course, you know we've got a lot of checklists for you guys. So you should have a checklist to prepare for the open house, to remind yourself, okay, did I do the realtor.ca post? Did I do the signage? Did I get my sign-in sheet? Did I advertise it? Did I send an email invitation? So have an open house prep list. And then you should also have an open house follow-up list. So send thank you emails, call any interested buyers, text follow-up messages, schedule next steps. So have a little list to remind yourself so that it becomes a natural thing every single week. And I would say don't try to know by Monday that you're going to host an open house that next weekend and spend the entire week trying to find an open house to host, right? So you want to have it typically by Thursday so that you can do all of these things. I even recommend having just generic invitations to your open houses so that if you are hosting them every week, you're not spending your time trying to find a printer to get something printed or feature sheets. So have like a generic door hanger that says you're invited to my open house where you can print a sticker on it and just put it on there. So you're using the same stack every week. That's going to save you time because that's probably the most important part is trying to get those sellers to come into the door. Okay, number 5, the final one, farming, which is funny that Shiv was here because I'm going to share all of his stuff. So farming it's a little bit of an older school way of finding clients. I think it's the most expensive thing for sure. And a lot of agents, what they'll do is they're gonna get a listing, they're gonna send one flyer and they're gonna call it farming, right? That's not farming. Farming is when you're building, it's a very long-term game and it's a very, very expensive game. So if you're an experienced agent, this is for you more because you have money. We need you to have money and we need you to have long-term money because this is a 12-month plan. So if you're experienced now, you've got a consistent client. I keep looking at Sandeep. Probably, Ailey, you probably did some farming back in the day too. So this is a good when you've got some money, you've got clients, you know you're getting consistent business from your sphere of influence, but you want more. You just need a little bit more business. So you're going to tap into something probably called farming. And this is where you're going to build that long-term dominance in a neighborhood. I'm sure you've gone into neighborhoods and you know specifically who works in there. That's what you're trying to do. So these include more of the traditional things like mail outs, door drops, local Facebook groups. We were just talking to our agent here. She just bought a new build condo and there's some problems in the condo. And I said, is there a Facebook group for that condo? And we don't know yet. I don't know if we'll look it up, but a lot of these local Facebook groups that you guys are on, I know there's one in Brooklyn and Whitby. There's also one in South Ajax. These are both run by real estate agents. So these are not random people running them. They're all run by real estate agents and they have the whole community joining them. So they're doing an online type of farming where they're creating local Facebook groups for their community and no one really knows that they're running it. So it's an agent running it. And then if someone ever writes, hey, does anyone know a real estate agent? Typically the admin has to approve that message. So you won't see those messages probably on their board. So what they're going to do is private message them and say, hey, actually, I'm the real estate agent of this group. And they're getting clients that way. So if you guys go look up your community groups on Facebook, see if your neighborhood has one. And if it doesn't, this is a really great opportunity. And then I would send flyers probably to that entire even condo building, neighborhood and say, hey, there's no Facebook group for our community. I'm starting one and put a QR code to join it. That's probably what I would do. And the consistency is 12 touches per year. Boy, I forgot I had a video.
So listen,
Okay.
aside from the size of the card,
Yeah.
what do you think are the biggest mistakes that people are making when it comes to direct mail? Like, what are the things what's the one thing they got to stop doing?
Oh, one? How about, can I give you 5? There's so many.
You all want to
Okay.
get better. You do, the better.
I think the biggest mistake I see is someone gets a listing out of the area that they normally work in, and they either because their broker's paying for it or they think it's a good idea, they send 25 just listed cards around the property one time. And they've never been in this community before, and maybe they've got a signpost, maybe they're holding an open house. That's an introduction. That's not a strategy. That's step 1. So see what he thinks to say about that. You know, if you have a listing outside your area, one, that's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. We love that. But don't just send 25 cards, make a campaign out of that. Get to know those neighbors. One listing could be 6 different cards. That could be a new on the market, coming soon, open house, pending, just sold, testimonial. And then once that happens, there is something called the marketing rule of 7, which means it takes 7 interactions before there's recognition and trust starting to be built. One time, save your money. Just don't do it. It's just not worth it. So I would say that's maybe the worst mistake. And then just the number of cards. I mean, 25 is not going to do anything. Send out anytime you're going to send out cards, at minimum send out, if you're going to start a campaign, 250 is a good base number to start with.
And I see that all the time. Have you guys ever done that? I've personally been a victim to having a just sold, send out a postcard, say just listed, and get so excited when I'm delivering them because I'm like, someone's gonna call me from this card and want to sell their house. I've never had a phone call from a postcard my entire 9 years. Has anyone had one? Have you guys done postcards? Have you done the same thing where you're like, just listed, just sold, done. Hopefully someone's gonna join me. It doesn't work like that, guys. So if we're going to go with the farming strategy, again, this I would say would be for my experienced agents, but if you have the opportunity to get a listing in a new area, Claire calls it guerrilla farming. So it's where you basically are trying to send out flyers and you're door knocking and you're building relationships with that current neighborhood to see if you can grab a whole bunch of listings until basically you're done. So I think, Claire, a lot of people have done that in the past, right? Where we've seen agents go into like a townhome complex. They did one sale and then all of a sudden they got 4 sales that year and then it started to dry up a little bit. So then they move on to the next neighborhood. So anytime you guys get a listing, you guys should really zone in on that area for as much as you can. I know Michael, we're pushing him for Olive Street because I think, how many have you gotten now? 5 sales. You've got 5 listings on Olive, right? 2 sales and 3 listings. We're calling him the Olive King now. It's not the most ideal neighborhood of the area, but there's like 70 or 80 homes in that area. It's a very small little spot to farm and they all know you. So I think it's a great opportunity. If you have a listing, start guerrilla farming at least, and then go into your neighborhood. So I just have some examples here. I know online you can't see it as much, but these are Shiv's. So what Shiv will do when he get a listing, actually this one was really cool because he had the for sale sign and then he had like a little clear box. So all the neighbors could actually pick out this flyer from the box. And then when they're walking their dogs, they're just walking with their flyer and they're bringing it home. Very easy. This is a great strategy to get the neighbors to pick up a box. And it's a very simple strategy, right? It's just very simple feature sheet. I think this is done just by Homania. You guys all have access to it. And then it just has pictures of the house. So he's putting this in there for the home. But what he does a really great job of is he's also farming like all of Pickering, basically. He's got every house he's ever sold on there. He does ice cream trucks. So this is actually another thing that you guys can be thinking about when you guys are doing open houses. Like, don't just do an open house. Have an ice cream truck, have a barbecue, have it like a full thing to invite the neighbors on. He's got QR codes on here, contact information, testimonials. So this is the type of stuff, but he's not just sending this out on one listing. He's sending this out every month and there's probably like 20,000 of them. He's doing the exact same thing I just told you guys about the open houses too. Have very generic, like you're invited to my open house. And then he has sticker that says open house Saturday 2 to 4. And then I think he just has like the address on there, but he's got tons of stuff and this stuff is going out every single month. So if you're thinking about farming, it's not just one flyer. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So you pick your farm area, pull the last 12 sales, track the days on market, really understand that market, build visibility, go to the businesses, introduce yourself, have some flyers going out, have at least once a month, have face-to-face. So anytime there's an open house there, you want to be at that open house, you want to deliver seasonal pop buys and really get in touch. So if you're thinking about farming, it's not just a couple postcards and then you guys are not getting calls and then you quit. You have to do it for 12 months. So this strategy may not be for a brand new agent, but if you're an experienced agent that just is kind of stuck at like a plateau, it's okay. If you're stuck at a plateau right now, you need to do something else, whether it's that open houses, whether it's the social media, whether it's the farming. We need to add a little bit more if you guys find that your pipeline is drying up a little bit. Any questions on that one? Perfect. Okay, I have these next 2 slides in very white because I hate these strategies a lot. I really hate them. These are not part of the 5, but these 2 strategies are what I find a lot of agents want to gravitate towards when their business isn't going through. They want to go spend a ton of money on online leads. Cool, you're gonna get online leads, you're gonna get a lot. But what sucks about them is that they cost a lot of money. You get a ton of them, which becomes very overwhelming, and they have a terrible conversion rate because they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. So it's a longer conversion game, and I have yet to see a successful agent do it. So I've seen, like, we've done sessions with Mo. He's sold a few homes. I don't know if he would do it again. Maybe you would do it again when the pipeline dries up a little bit, but it's not something that you would rely on like to pay the bills or anything. It's more of like hey, things are slow right now. Let's just add something to it. So it's not something I would spend 90% of your time on because it's such a terrible way. And most of the agents that I hear, the leads suck. The leads are terrible. Phone numbers don't work. Emails don't work. So this is like a supplemental strategy that I don't love. Cold calling and door knocking. No one has a landline anymore. And it's the number one thing I get from agents that are not getting business and are too scared to go out to their friends and family. They don't want to do an open house. So they say, I'm going to cold call because they can do it from their house. It doesn't cost them any money. And then they get mad at me because they say no one picked up their phone. The phone numbers are wrong. Like, how many of you guys in this room have a landline? Like, literally zero. Claire even has a landline. I don't know if you've ever picked it up before. No one's picking up their landlines anymore. So unless we one day get cell phone numbers, I think if we get cell phone numbers, we go ham on cold calling because we can get direct to them. Until then, I think landlines are they're done. And I think it's a waste of time. I would rather see you guys hosting an open house than spend a whole week trying to cold call a bunch of strangers. The door knocking, I think, works if you have a purpose. So if you're doing an open house and you're door knocking to invite them to the house there. Again, I would say probably about 80% of people, like, how many of you guys have Ring cameras? What? Okay, that shocks me actually. When I see someone come to my Ring camera with a little board and they knock on my door, I am not answering that door. Like, I don't answer. I don't know if that's a millennial thing, but a lot of people are scared to open their doors. So unless you have a purpose to go door knocking, I think it's a hard thing to say, hey, do you want to sell your house? Like, no, like, no one wants to be interrupted there. But if you're just saying, hey, I have an open house this weekend, come on by, that's a little less threatening. Or if you're after the open house, you say, hey, the house sold, just wanted to keep you posted. Or, hey, we have this listing coming up on the market. Do you know anyone that wants to move into the neighborhood? Those are good door knocking ways. But otherwise, I think cold door knocking is a little scary. And I don't think anyone wants to open their doors anymore. Old people are that's going to piss off a lot of people. I know Claire's probably dying when I'm saying this, but I'm just sick of the coaches up here telling people to do cold calling when I just think it's a waste of time. I just gave you guys 5 really good strategies, like working with your database, doing referrals, doing open houses, social media, farming. Those ones, stick to those. These guys, supplemental if you're bored and have nothing else to do, but I think you can fill your time with these other 5 things that actually work. So the key takeaways: sphere of influence, past clients, highest return on interest. Please, did anyone get responses from their text messages yet? No one said, like, thanks, I'm doing great. No. Okay. Keep texting people, keep messaging people, keep checking in on people. No one's gonna be mad at you. Highest return on interest is from your past clients, your sphere of influence, straight across the board. There's no science to it. So I would focus 90% of my time doing that. Referrals and social media. This is where you're getting consistent growth in your business. Open houses and farming, long-term strategy, but still works. And then the paid leads and cold prospecting. Supplemental, require way too much discipline that I know a lot of realtors don't have, and doesn't work as well. So obviously consistency and follow-up equals success. So your action items this week, because I am going to give you guys homework before next week, I want you guys to create some sort of strategy for your sphere of influence and maybe start reaching out to people that maybe you can get some referrals for. So while you guys are in the office today or you're at home, I recommend just texting 5 people today or just like think about what different things you guys can be doing to build relationships with people. Some of you may have client events. Some of you guys may just do well online and DMing people, texting people, but don't just go home and just think that people are thinking about you all the time. We have to build those relationships with them. And then other than the sphere of influence and referrals, choose one of the other options, whether it's open houses, farming, or social media. I think those are good strategies. If you're cold calling, stop it. Sorry, Dad. Okay, next week, we have week 2. What we're going to be doing is how to convert those leads into clients. So when you're doing all these prospecting activities or your marketing, you're going to have someone reach out to you and say, hey, Mo, I'm thinking about buying a house. That's the message that we're looking for, right? We've all received that email, that text message, the message where someone out of the blue just says, hey, I'm looking to buy. Then you're like, great. Then you got to get them into a consultation or you're booking a listing presentation with them to present why they should work with you. So we're going to talk about next week what a discovery call and a consultation should look like, how to determine a buyer's motivation and timeline. Same thing with a seller, how to determine a seller's motivation, what their goals are. We'll go into a little bit of scripts and some objection handling because there's only about 5 different things that these people are going to say to you that are going to object to why they shouldn't buy or sell real estate right now. So we're going to talk about some of those open-ended questions that you can be doing to kind of beat those objections. And then some of the tools. So we'll talk about some buyer seller guides, presentations, and stuff like that. So that is on next week's schedule. I think that was my last slide. Does anyone have questions? I was trying to get it down to my hour. Oh, yes. Someone was reminding me there's a C21 conference in Vancouver next year. If you're in BC, there's one in Kelowna. We always ask who is our agent and we record that info. Oh, yeah. So someone at an open house said they will say, who is your agent? Not are you working with an agent, is who is your agent? And then they record that info. 90% of the time they do have an agent, but it's good follow up to their agent to ask for those things. So you're right. Some people will have an agent, but hey, maybe you can sell that house. Perfect. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, shoot them over to me. But otherwise, we are done. Oh, we got some.
Advertising other agents' listing.
Advertising other agents' listings. Yeah, you can just reach out to them, say, hey, can I put your listing on social media? Like, are you just advertising like on social and stuff? Yeah, just reach out to the listing agent. Most of the time, I'd say most agents are pretty relaxed. And you can see at the bottom of a listing, it'll say permission to ask to advertise. A lot of people think it's permission to advertise. It's actually permission to ask to advertise. So if it says yes, just reach out to the listing agent. Yeah, most people I would say yes, especially these days. Yeah, it's permission. It says permission to ask. But I've seen agents say, oh, no, it says permission. I'm like, oh, no, it's permission to, which if they put yes, that typically means they're going to say yes. But I think it's good to also say where you're posting it and stuff like that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to sign off with my online world. This will be on YouTube afterwards. And then otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.
Let's go Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays.